So for Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharpe, they absolutely want Favre to remain in the welfare lawsuit because that would indicate that, yes, he was a participant, that the state of Mississippi believed that he was part and may have known knowledge pertinent to what was happening with the welfare money. Already, several people have pled guilty. In fact, a person pled guilty just the other day. And Brett does not want to be associated with these people because these people are saying, hey, yeah, we're guilty. We stole the money. Anytime a public official pleads guilty or a politician pleads guilty, you know it's because they couldn't snake their way out, and therefore they're going to testify and give testimony in exchange for a lighter sentence. That's how it always works with people. So several people have pled guilty, and these are people that Brett is related to. This is people that Brett has interacted with, to charges stemming from the misspending, including Christy Webb, former head of the nonprofit organization Family Resource Center, John Davis, former executive director of Mississippi Department of Human Services, and Nancy New and Zachary New, a mother-son duo who ran a nonprofit organization and an education company. No charges have been brought against Brett at this time. He has already filed multiple motions to be removed from the lawsuit because he does not want his name anywhere near this, because that would mean that, okay, so per Anna Wolf of Mississippi Today, the Department of Human Services filed a $24 million civil lawsuit in May 2022 against 38 individuals or entities for using welfare funds that were meant to address the poverty in Mississippi. Favre was one of several athletes named in the lawsuit: former NFL running back Marcus Dupree, former linebacker Paul LaCosta, and retired WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase Sr. were among the other ones. So we have a group of 38 individuals, okay? Some of them have pled guilty. Some of them are athletes that I'm sure Brett does not want to be associated with, given what other things they may have done. So the defamation claim against Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharpe takes a very different spin. It has a different look to it and feel to it, because if this is a lawsuit going on and Brett Favre's name is in it and some things have happened and these people will testify against what Brett has said or done, then how can he sue somebody for defaming him when he is, if he is part of this group? Wouldn't it make sense to talk about the group on TV, that you can't really defame a public figure if there is, no malice, right? And you believe that he actually did some of the things because there's evidence. There's people in this group of people pleading guilty. So Brett Favre is a very interesting individual because, like I said, whoever his lawyer is, they could have just been silent, and I think this would have kind of gone away. But he's in the news almost every day. Like, let me read you these new channels. Bleacher Report, that was a day ago, 19 hours ago. Fox 6 News Milwaukee. Favre must remain in Mississippi welfare lawsuit, state argues. News 4 Jax, I assume that's Jacksonville. Favre must remain in welfare lawsuit, Mississippi argues. The Toronto Star. So even our neighbors in Canada are reporting on this. And every time they report on this, it's almost the same picture, and it makes him look bad. They're painting him the same way. They're just not using maybe the language that Shannon Sharpe is losing. In fact, I would imagine that Fox News has posted more articles about Brett Favre in a negative light and have done more damage to him than the entire Shannon Sharpe or Pat McAfee did in those videos on YouTube, or on Shannon Sharpe would be on TV, cable. Brett Favre must remain in welfare lawsuit, Mississippi argues. Penn Live. I mean, Alabama, AL.com, Alabama.com. Former Mississippi nonprofit director pleads guilty in welfare scandal involving Brett Favre. So whenever any of these people, there's 38 of them. There is 38 of them. When any of these people are pleading guilty or new evidence comes out, you know what the title is? XX, who is associated with Brett Favre, right? You put Brett Favre in the name because that's the keyword. That's what people are interested in. So instead of letting the case die down, and at that point, I think the case was already dead before he filed his defamation lawsuit, he is back in the news. So if the idea is he doesn't want to be in the news for this, and that's why he's filing his motion to be dismissed, every time the Mississippi says, nah, we believe he should be part of this, it's going to get reported. I just named you all these states, right? Even the Toronto Star is reporting on this. And in my opinion, nothing really happened. It was, of course, the Mississippi is going to say, oh, we need Brett to be part of this lawsuit because they want as many people as possible. So it's not big news. It's not even stunning news. It's just news. And anytime you can write a news article with Brett Favre in it, you will, because people will click on it. People might subscribe to your $1 a day newspaper. And this is the crazy part about Brett. He could have just left it alone by suing Shannon Sharpe, the state Mississippi auditor, Shade White, I believe is his name. And by suing Pat McAfee of all people, he essentially is making sure that his name will be on the news for the next 6 months, a year, 2 years, as long as this case goes on against them relentlessly. And it won't be in any positive manner, and it will actually defame. He's done a better job of defaming himself than I would argue Shannon Sharpe or Pat McAfee could ever imagine. He could have left it alone, and then it would have passed over, right? There was no indication that either Shannon or Pat would have reported more on the issues. They kind of made their videos about it when the news broke, and that was it. There was no updates. There was nothing else. Now there are updates every other day on Brett Favre and this issue of the Mississippi. Is any of these people, the nonprofit directors, there's 38 people, any of them plead guilty, guess what? Brett Favre's name will be on the article, whether or not he pled guilty or not. Because it's news. So this is a PR loss for Brett. In my opinion, he's damaging his own reputation beyond anything Pat McAfee and Shannon Sharpe could ever do, which will help their defamation case defenses. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Bye, guys.